So he moved out on my friend's property. He was up there for a couple of months. Contact was good. He'd sort of ring me basically every day. And then after a couple of months, it become less and less and less. And I thought, this isn't right. So I quit my job. I let my girlfriend and her 3 girls move into the house, and I went to Gatton. Now, when I went there, we'd had a huge amount of rain up there, so all the roads were flooded. And yes, I drove through a flooded crossway, and I got stuck. But a nice farmer come along and pulled me out, so I just let my car dry out and off it went. We went back and got the car a couple of days later with the trailer. So I arrived up on this property, and he wasn't very affectionate to me, especially not in front of my girlfriend, who was the partner of the other male that lived there, who I was also really good friends with, in which I thought was a bit odd. So I stayed there for a few weeks and just observed. They sort of left me out of everything. Him and her would go off on the tractor together, laughing and joking and carrying on. And I pulled the husband aside, not my husband, her husband or partner, and I said, there's something going on here. They're sneaking around, and you need to kick him off the property. And he said to me, look, you're just being an irate, jealous female. There's nothing going on. But I knew better. So I stuck it out for a little bit longer. And then one night at about 11 o'clock at night in bed, I got out of bed and I got my daughter and I said, I'm going back to Brisbane. If you want this marriage to work, give me a call at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and let me know what you want. And I left. The next day at 5 o'clock, he rang and he said, yes, I don't want this marriage to work. I'm going to stay here. And I went, okay then. So I got a job back at the hotel and continued life on. Now, about a month later, the partner of the girl came to me and in the hotel where I worked. And he asked to talk to me, so I did. And he said, look, I'm so sorry, mate. He said, you were right. He said, they are having an affair. They're leaving together. And then he told me a bit of the story on what had gone on. Apparently, one of his daughters had sort of seen them through the window in bed together. She had fronted her partner and told him what was going on, and my husband stood there in front of her denying it, saying no, nothing's going on, liar. So anyway, there was a huge big blow up there, and those 2 left, and the husband came and apologised to me. I said, a female intuition, I could just see it, body language. Now let me tell you about some fun things that I used to do while I was there. Enough doom and gloom for now. But because we're up in the mountains, now this property was on, I don't know, about 1,000 acres or something. It was a big property. But you could stand in the top of the driveway and turn full circle and all you would see is mountains and trees. So it was beautiful. So I'd grab one of the horses nearly every day and I'd go for a ride up to Weaver's Hut or exploring somewhere, which was good. But I remember one day my husband, I could never ride a motorbike, never been able to. Love being passenger, but I can't ride a motorbike. And there was this old postie bike up there. So he decided he's going to send me down the driveway, and there was a real steep, rocky driveway and quite a distance to get down to the post box, the mailbox. So he puts me up on top of the hill and says, go on, off you go and get the mail, and just pushed me off. And I'm screaming, got the wobbles up, going down this driveway, screaming, where's the brakes? And he says, there isn't any. And I went, oh, he's trying to kill me. And I got to the end of the driveway and the bike eventually stopped, and I got the mail and I pushed it all the way back up again because I couldn't ride it. Also, at the end of the driveway where the mailbox was this cave. It was kind of open, and it was a big cave, and it had all these Aboriginal artwork in it. And it was beautiful. It used to fascinate me. I'd spend a lot of time just sitting there, feeling the energy and looking at this artwork. And apparently it was a birthing cave. So when the Aboriginals used to go on walkabout over the Darling Downs and out that way, the women used to plan to actually have their babies in this cave. And that's what all these pictures were in there, and like there'd be a lady with an umbilical cord kind of thing and a baby and things. It was beautiful. It was really fascinating. In those days you could walk straight in there, but now they have it all fenced off and everything to be able to protect it, in which is a good thing. And apparently there was a lot of burial caves, because there was a lot of caves up in the mountains, and apparently there was a lot of burial caves up there too, but I never went up near those. That's very sacred to me. Time was pretty good up on the property for a little while because they'd had so much rain up there, and I had my daughter with me, and the other couple who lived on the property, they had a couple of young girls. And because we were up in the mountains, there was beautiful waterfalls coming down through the mountains everywhere. So I'd grab the girls nearly every day, and the three of us, we would go up into the mountains and we would have a shower and wash our hair and everything under the waterfalls, or we'd lay on the rocks and let it run all over us. It was a beautiful place, beautiful experience to be able to do that with the two girls. And while we were also up there, and with all the rain, we decided we were going to go whitewater rafting. All of us decided we were going to go whitewater rafting. So one of us drove us all the way up through the roads up to the top of the mountain kind of thing, and we whitewater rafted all the way down. It took us hours to get down, but it was so much fun. And we'd have to come underneath people's fences because we're actually going through people's properties and across the causeways on the roads, and the cars would have to stop to let us go over, and we'd come out the other end and we all had bruises all over us because we were only on airbeds on all these rocks and bumps and a few holes in the airbeds, but it was good fun. And then we used to ride the horses all the time. We'd go up to what was called Weaver's Hut up the top, in which overlooked all the Great Divide. And we'd camp up there and take the horses up, and a bit of music and fires. They had a big dam up there. It was